Make sure it builds, guys, and if it does, we'll continue to next to our SpriteBatch. New item, source file, and of course, SpriteBatch. If you've done X and A before, then you know what SpriteBatch is. These are all of our 2D stuff, you know. So we create our header file. This is gonna be a nifty SpriteBatch. Anyways, guys, one thing I would like to say to you guys. Is I hope you guys go to my I mentioned it in the previous. I mean, I didn't mention it. I wrote an annotation. But I would like you guys to follow me on Twitter or like me on my Facebook page. The links are below in my comments. In the description. So I would like you guys to follow me, and it'll be a faster way for me to look at it and read what you guys have to say. Maybe give me some suggestions and some ideas for future videos that you guys want me to do. I kind of know what I want to do already, but maybe you got some suggestions, and maybe you want me to do something else. So I'll follow me on Twitter. The links are below in the description. So I would like you guys to follow me if you can. If you want to, you don't have to, but I would love you guys for it. So if you haven't done so, I hope you guys do. I mean, you can always do it in my YouTube channel, but I'm not always here. Kind of busy now. I'm usually, when I'm like at work or something, I'm always on the phone or something during my break. I do go on YouTube, but I can't really comment on stuff. So I would suggest you guys to like it, you know, please. They'll help me out a lot, and it'll help you guys too at the same time, you know. It's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. So anyways, let's include what the heck is going on. Expect a file. Oh. Anyways, I hope you guys do. It'll follow me, give me some suggestions in there. You know, you can always tweet me, whatever, faster. Sometimes I'm busy, I'm not home, and I can't really comment on YouTube. So, you know, I would like you guys to follow me. SpriteBatch. Anyways, make sure you go into your defs. So you just right click on system defs, and we can create our type def in here to make it easier. Unsigned int, and we can call it U32. It'll be easier to name our unsigned int. If you don't, basically what this is, if you don't know what this is, basically you can, instead of naming unsigned int on everything, you're just gonna use U32. U32 basically is the same thing as this. So you basically could call it everything. You can usually call it that, and that will work. But you're not gonna call it that, right? That's gonna be kind of dumb, you know. So that's a simple way of doing it, because we can use that a lot right now. Well, maybe not a lot, but in the future, and it'll be a faster way of doing it. So after you do that, go back to your SpriteBatch. And it's not private, it's public. And you call it SpriteBatch. You call it destructor. And basically we can have a function. And basically what this function is going to do is just draw our stuff, or render a plane. Basically what this SpriteBatch is when it comes to 2D is just basically planes, you know. Draw a plane or make a simple 2D plane. Void draw. And this is where our rectangle will go in. For now, we can create just one of them, since it's just a simple SpriteBatch. We can have more in the future, letting you know. So what we're gonna creating here, it's gonna be a U32 vertex buffer ID, a U32 M text. This is our texture buffer or UB buffer or whatever you want to call it. A U32 M. This is going to contain our index buffer ID. U32 M vertex array ID. I'll make sure it's a freaking semicolon. A U32 M texture buffer. What do you really want a texture buffer ID? I bet it should be also like texture array or something. What the heck was I writing here? What am I thinking? A texture buffer array ID. Trying to think what else we can need in here. Wait, do I really need all that? No, never mind. We don't not need it because we already have it. Okay. Anyways, continue. Int. This is gonna be our indices count. I mean, a lot of people write indices differently, so do not. Just cut me some slack. A lot of people write it differently when it comes to indices. No, we're not gonna need that. I'm like thinking ahead already, because we don't have them. We can say in the future we can write a lot more stuff in here, and I'm already thinking ahead. And we just gonna have our indices count because that's what we gonna need today. So go to your CPP header file, and basically you want to include your SpriteBatch. Create our SpriteBatch. And make sure you can call your vertex buffer ID. Set it to 0 M index buffer ID to equals 0 M vertex array ID to equals 0, and our text buffer ID to equal 0. Make sure you set that. On our destructor, if we initialize our vertex buffer ID, we make sure you want to delete it because that's what we can delete. Wait, I'm gonna need my. What am I gonna need in here? I think it's OGL. So we need our functions in here from OGL and GL delete buffers. There we go. So make sure you include your OGL because that contains all of this stuff that we can need in the future. And we're gonna delete our vertex buffer ID. If we initialized our text buffer ID, you're gonna do the same thing. We're going to do the same thing with the index buffer ID. Make sure it's GL delete buffers index buffer ID. And for our last one is the vertex array ID. We can GL bind vertex array. Make sure that's set to 0 in case we forget to do it when we're deleting our stuff. And we can delete vertex arrays 1 and then vertex arrays ID. And that's it for our destructor. Well, you know what? Something I forgot to do. Forget another function which will initialize class or SpriteBatch. So, as you guys guessed, it's going to call initialize. So, function initialize SpriteBatch. So, void SpriteBatch initialize. So we're gonna generate our vertex array. So gem vertex arrays. We're gonna need one of them. We're gonna generate our buffers. Well, one, because like I said, we only need one of them. GL gen buffers. We're gonna generate our texture buffer. So your 4.0 is a lot different now. I remember you didn't really have to do all this crap.